alert! Learning is important, right?
Yes, exactly. What a bunch of nerds.
Nerd alert!
Right.
Marketing Architects.
Hello, and welcome to the Marketing Architects, a research-first podcast dedicated to answering your toughest marketing questions. I'm Elena Jasper. I run the marketing team here at Marketing Architects, and I'm joined by my co-host, Rob DeMars, the Chief Product Architect of Misfits and Machines.
Hello, hello.
We're back with your weekly Nerd Alert. Every week, I'll take a deep dive into academic marketing research and translate its complex ideas into simple, understandable language for Rob and, of course, for all of you. Are you ready to nerd out, Rob?
Nerd is the word. Let's do this.
Nerd is the word. Let's get into it. As always, we'll link the research we cover in the episode notes. This week, I read, Where A/B testing goes wrong, how divergent delivery affects what online experiments cannot and can tell you about how customers respond to advertising. This is from Michael Braun from Southern Methodist University and Eric Schwartz from the University of Michigan. We are talking about A/B testing today, or an advertising test where two versions of an ad are compared to see which performs better against different audiences, which I think everyone listening to this podcast is probably pretty familiar with. But before we get too far, Rob, how do you feel generally about A/B testing?
I love A/B testing. I think we are in a business where there's a lot of opinions, and we should have opinions. That's what we're paid for, to have opinions. But at the end of the day, there can just be so many opinions. And I'm an expert in my opinion. You're an expert in your opinion, but nothing provides clarity like some good old-fashioned A/B testing.
Well, I would agree with you. I'm also a fan of the A/B test. This study is going to give us a few watch-outs that we should be aware of for A/B testing. Yeah, so let's get into it. The headline here, it's not that A/B tests aren't valuable, so we don't have to worry about that, but it's that classic A/B tests might not be giving us the clear answers that we think they are. And the reason for that is something called divergent delivery. Divergent delivery happens because the platforms that people typically run A/B tests on, like Meta or Google, use sophisticated algorithms to decide which users see which ads. And these algorithms don't just randomly show ad A to one group and ad B to another. Instead, they optimize delivery in real time, showing each ad to different mixes of users based on who the algorithm thinks will respond best. So this means that users who see your ad A might be quite different from those who see ad B. So when you look at the results of the test, you're not just seeing the difference between the ads, you're also seeing the difference between the groups of users who saw each ad, which can lead to misleading results. For example, if ad A is shown to users who are more likely to engage with ads in general, it might seem like ad A is better, when in reality, it's just being shown to a more receptive audience. So that makes it difficult to isolate the effect of the ad content itself. So let's talk about an example that they had from the study. Ads were targeted to recruit city employees in Detroit. And the results showed that even within a supposedly controlled experiment, the mix of users who saw different ads was not balanced. For example, certain ads were shown more frequently to women than men. The authors introduce a framework that explains how user types, targeting policies, and the aggregation of data interact to create these A/B test problems. So the framework explains that online ad platforms use user types, which are categories based on user behavior and preferences, to decide who sees which ad. Targeting policies then determine which specific user types are more likely to see each ad, meaning that different ads are shown to different mixes of user types. When the results of these ads are aggregated or combined, the mix of user types who saw each ad can differ significantly, creating a problem known as divergent delivery. So that means that the A/B test results are confounded as they reflect not just the differences in the ads, but also the differences in the types of users who saw each ad. As a result, it becomes difficult to determine whether the observed differences in ad performance are due to the ad content itself or just the types of users who were targeted. And before we get into discussion, I want to share our Rob GPT. Imagine you're hosting a pizza party with two new pizza recipes, and you want to know which one your guests like better. But instead of letting everyone randomly try both pizzas, the party planner secretly gives a spicy pizza to all your spice-loving friends and the mild pizza to those who can't handle the heat. When you ask which pizza was better, the results are mixed because the spicy lovers only tried the spicy pizza and the mild crowd only tried the mild one. This is what happens in the study. Online ads are like those pizzas, and the targeting algorithms are the sneaky party planners, making it hard to know if people prefer the ad or just because of who saw it. All right, so Rob, what did you think?
I'm actually really surprised with as sophisticated as these algorithms are, why they aren't executing true head-to-head tests. That's something we've spent a lot of time on our side of the fence working on making sure, especially as people that are passionate about the creative that you create, you want to make sure it gets a fair shake. And so making sure that you're truly getting a lookalike audience when you're doing an A/B test. So I'm actually really surprised these algorithms aren't accounting for that.
Part of the challenge is that we don't really know what's behind the algorithms, like they're not sharing it. There must be other online platforms that have options for A/B testing that is more controlled. But I think a lot of marketers, this is how they A/B test. They put ads, like when they launch a Facebook campaign, they have ad A, ad B. That's how they A/B test. Like the advertisers we work with, when we A/B test, we use like more defined audiences, right? Do you want to walk through a little bit of like how we A/B test ads? We don't just put them on an online platform and let Meta or Google decide.
It really becomes an exercise for both the media team and the analytics team in terms of how they place the ads, making sure that they have like time periods, like networks. It's not a perfect head to head, but it's pretty dang good. And then they have to look at it over a course of time too. It can't just be a 1-day A/B test. There needs to be enough viewers to make it statistically significant. So it has to air a certain amount of times. That's about as deep as I can get, Elena, without having someone much smarter than me in the analytics team go into the weeds.
Well, I was thinking we've done like some online survey testing too. And with that, it can be easier, right? To make sure that we know exactly how we're showing the ads too.
Absolutely. And how many times they're seeing it. That's just why I'm surprised. To your point, these algorithms are a bit mysterious. So the fact that people are extrapolating from their own research that it's not as head-to-head as it could be is really interesting.
I'm surprised you didn't bring this up, Rob, but I was thinking this is another reason to use synthetic audiences for A/B testing.
For sure. You're getting a very controlled experience that way.
People are worried about that being inaccurate. There's a lot of debate about the value of using AI and creating synthetic audiences to test, but it sounds like the results you're getting from online testing through like Meta and Google are definitely not going to tell you a lot. So you might as well try this. I think it has a better shot probably than an algorithm that you know nothing about.
We're absolutely finding it more predictive than human audiences, and it removes the human bias. And you don't have to have as much exposure then, right? Because it's an AI, so you're not having to worry about running a certain amount of time in order to be able to get that read.
I like this one because it's an example of something like a practice in marketing that people think is just a given. It's like, oh, turns out we put some research behind it. It might not be. That's it for this episode of The Marketing Architects. We'd like to thank Ayana Klaphocky for producing the show and Taylor De Los Reyes for editing. You can connect with us on LinkedIn, and if you find the show valuable, please leave us a rating and review. And if you'd like to hear more from us, subscribe to our weekly email newsletter. It's built for marketers seeking research-first analysis of the latest trends. You can go to marketingarchitects.com/newsletter to subscribe. Now go forth and build great marketing.
Yeah, that really surprises me. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, that's a really good one. That was really surprising to me. I would have thought they have it down to an exact science.
Yeah, it makes my brain hurt.
Marketing Architects.